I'm not saying, I'm not asking that. So, hopefully they don't step
But I think they
yeah. We'll see lah. Play by ear. Yeah, someone will inform that he's arriving, and then I will cue you. Yeah. But if the person doesn't cue, I have to listen. If they forgot to cue, then I have to listen. This is really good. I'm not a professional MC, so I'm very scared. I believe the Prime Minister is on his way. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Singapore. Good afternoon, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, Mr. Lim Tze Peng, Mr. Woon Tai Ho, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us today for the launch of the book and exhibition, Soul of Ink, Lim Tze Peng at 100. We are indeed grateful for this opportunity to gather in person to celebrate the life and work of Mr. Lim Tze Peng, Singapore's oldest living artist and an icon of the Singapore art scene, as he celebrates his centenary year this year. Soul of Ink, Lim Tze Peng at 100, the book published by World Scientific and authored by Mr. Woon Tai Ho, and the exhibition, curated by Mr. Lo Zui, pay tribute to Mr. Lim's remarkable artistic renaissance at 100. Without further ado, I would like to call upon Mr. Woon Tai Ho to say a few words. Mr. Woon.
Prime Minister Lim Tze Peng, ladies and gentlemen. 10 o'clock in the morning, New Year's Eve. I received an email from the Prime Minister's office. I hope this finds you well. Happy New Year. PM accepts. When Lim Tze Peng found out later that the Prime Minister had agreed to be the guest of honor at the launch of a book on him, he could not sleep. Lim Tze Peng thinks of himself as an ordinary man, even though he did extraordinary things. He has been called many things, but in this book, I call him a patriotic artist. From his earliest work of the Singapore River, Chinatown, to his trees, and today, his colorful abstracts, they were and are all scenes and visions of the country he loves. When he has difficulty sleeping, that's when he's seeking and resolving how to improve, even at the age of 100. He inspires me. He is the definition of lifelong learning. On his 100th birthday, I asked him, "What's your wish?" "Give me a few more years," he said. "I can achieve even more for Singapore." I thank the Prime Minister for making time this afternoon, making a 100-year-old man very happy. Prime Minister.
Mr. Lim Tze Peng, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to everybody, and I'd like to say how delighted I am to join you all for the book launch and exhibition of Soul of Lim Tze Peng at 100. Today we honor the remarkable accomplishments of Mr. Lim Tze Peng, one of Singapore's most accomplished artists. Let me start with a few words in Mandarin. 今天，国书画林子平先生，这是我的荣幸。林先生体现了活到老学到老，到了100岁还继续寻求创新，突破自己。他的坚持令人钦佩。年到100岁，松青鹤畅。在此祝林先生福寿康宁，万无疆。Mr. Lim's journey as an has been a long and fruitful one. He developed an interest in the arts early in his youth, before the war. He taught himself honing his talents as a student in Zhongzheng High School. Graduation, he became a teacher at Xinmin School and subsequently the principal of Xinmin School in the 1950s. For years, he looked after the welfare of his students and they received a good education. In his free time, he relentlessly pursued his passion for art. In the 60s and 70s around Southeast Asia with other school artists to inspire and shape his artistic identity. In 1977, he exhibited a work at the Commonwealth Art Exhibition in England. His entry was initially rejected by the local selection committee for being neither Eastern nor Western. But it was eventually accepted and unexpectedly won the special prize. It was the only Singaporean work to win a prize at that competition. This success spurred Mr. Lim on. Tze Peng only became a full-time at the age of 60 after retiring as a school principal. More than 20 years later, he was awarded the Cultural Medallion and later still the Meritorious Service Medal for his contributions to the arts. At age 100, he is still going strong, breaking new ground and relentlessly improving his craft. He has joined the select group of internationally acclaimed artists who remain active as centenarians. In 2014, I opened the Lim Tze Peng Art Gallery at Zhongzheng High School. Mr. Lim's alma mater had set up the gallery to house over 100 of his best works that he had donated. These masterpieces now inspire the students and future generations of artists. So when Tai Ho invited me to launch Soul of Ink, Lim Tze Peng at 100, his book about Mr. Lim's life story and works, I was deeply honored to accept. The book captures the spirit of Mr. Lim's art. From his streetscapes and kampong scenes in our early nation-building years, to his iconic paintings of Chinatown and the Singapore River through the decades. They offer a vivid glimpse of the color of everyday lives in Singapore, still within living memory, but fading into the past year by year. His life's work captures the atmosphere of the changing times as our country developed and urbanized. It opens a window into our nation's soul while enriching our heritage and helping to form an emerging national cultural identity. This is exactly what art can do, to link generations past, present, and future, to express our creative responses to our circumstances and articulate our dreams and aspirations, and at the same time to remind us that our future paths are our own to blaze. Just like how Mr. Lim pioneered his own path. His works were undeniably rooted in Chinese art, from the materials to the style of the painting and writing. But the spirit of his art is neither Eastern nor Western. Mr. Lim has inspired new generations of local artists, each with their own unique styles, but all Singaporean. Piece by piece, each new artwork contributes to our collective identity, our sense of national identity and pride. As Mr. Lim said, everybody contributes differently. I'm born for art, contribution is in art. You can live to 200 years, but it will be a short life if you haven't made a meaningful contribution. Mr. Lim, 谢谢你对新加坡的贡献。 Thank you for your contribution to Singapore. In a few months' time, the National Arts Council will open the Cultural Medallion Gallery right here at the Arts House. It will celebrate and honor our cultural medallion recipients like Mr. Lim. It will showcase their artistic excellence and contributions across various art forms, from the visual and literary arts to music, theatre, and dance, that have left an indelible imprint on our cultural landscape. These cultural icons and role models we call our own. They will continue to inspire new generations of local artists and performers. Last but not least, let me congratulate Tai Ho on successfully putting together first the book and today's book launch and exhibition. We need passionate individuals like him. Their efforts nurturing the arts, supporting our local artists, writing about them, and promoting awareness and appreciation of their achievements are just as important in keeping the arts vibrant and growing in Singapore. Thank you all once again, and wish everyone a very happy and memorable evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister. It gives me immense pleasure to now invite Mr. Lim Tze Peng to address us. Mr. Lim.
个案。尊敬的李显龙总理，尊敬的各位来宾，大家下午好。非常感谢总理在百忙中抽空来为我的新书发布会和画展来开幕，来致辞。对李总理的嘉许和鼓励赞赏，我感到非常的光荣，也非常的感谢。我的人生成长过程和新加坡这片生活养我的乡土紧密的相连着。今天呢，我能够得到总理的称赞，离不开国家相关的机构的帮忙，离不开艺术界、教育界、艺术爱好者和收藏家们的大力支持。此外呢，这次的新书发布会和画展举办离不开那这个尹大厨先生、刘世伟先生和蔡永义先生的帮助。感谢他们付出的和努力，能够通过艺术来为新加坡争光，这是我的荣幸。艺术也是国家和社会发展的重要的一环，希望新加坡能大力 来推动国家的各种比赛，让更多热爱艺术的下一代有更好发展的平台。我希望新加坡的未来可以出现更多的优秀的艺术家。我愿意，我有计划把我的一些好的、优秀的艺术作品来捐献给国家和社会，希望让更多的新加坡人看到我这些作品，也希望让新加坡以外的国家和人民看到这些作品。我虽然是很高龄，但是我觉得，我觉得这个时间呢很少，我觉得时间比金钱更重要。最后呢，我要感谢上帝赐给我的天赋，我会继续努力。谢谢大家。
Thank you so much, Mr. Lim. Mr. Lim would now like to present a copy of his book to Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. May I please invite the Prime Minister to join Mr. Lim. As a token of Mr. Lim's appreciation to the Prime Minister, as a token of Mr. Lim's appreciation to the Prime Minister for gracing this occasion, he would like to present the Prime Minister with a gift of calligraphy. You may have noticed the calligraphy with the word I hanging at the back of the room. Mr. Lim Tze Peng wrote this I a few weeks ago as his gift to the Prime Minister. The artist often speaks about his love for Singapore, love for his country. And so, his special gift to the Prime Minister, just one word, I. Thank you, Mr. Lim, for this beautiful gift. I would now like to invite the Prime Minister and Mr. Lim for a photo. May I call upon Mr. Woon Tai Ho, Ms. Rosa Daniel, CEO of the National Arts Council, Mr. Wilson Tan, Chairman of the Arts House, and Mr. Max Phua, Managing Director of World Scientific, to join the Prime Minister and Mr. Lim for the photo taking. May I ask the Prime Minister, Mr. Lim and Mr. Woon to remain in their positions and request for the others to return to their seats. I now invite Mr. Lim Soo Kok, son of Mr. Lim Tze Peng, and Mr. Chua Eng Lee, a close family friend, for a photo with the Prime Minister and Mr. Lim. May I invite the Prime Minister and Mr. Lim to now tour the exhibition in the gallery. The tour will be led by curator Lo Zui. Prime Minister, if you please. Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, Mr. Lim. For our guests watching online, thank you for joining us. We have come to the end of the live stream portion of the event. We invite you to visit the exhibition at the Arts House, which will be on 30th June, which will be on until 30th June. For our guests here with us at the Arts House, we invite you to view the exhibition once the VIP tour ends. In the meanwhile, please remain in the Blue Room. Thank you for your kind cooperation.